Who was your celebrity crush growing up?
Deepika Padukone. I've told you this, bro. We've had conversations about this.
Most annoying teammate at Rajasthan Royals? Go on. You won't.
Why are you putting me in this spot, Ish? Why? He's not going to take it hard. We know the friendship we share.
Who's the most skillful player you've ever played with?
KL Rahul.
Yeah, very good play. Very hard to bowl to, especially spin.
That was scary over. That was really, really scary.
Sodhi here with the First Royals podcast. And I don't know where you are in the world at the moment, but here in New Zealand, we're all on a full lockdown, obviously battling this coronavirus pandemic that's going around. So health comes first. So I hope everyone's keeping nice and fit, keeping nice and sane inside their houses. But hopefully this keeps you going for a little while longer. And my first guest on the Royals podcast is my former spin bowling partner. Bowled a few spells with him back in the last 2 seasons of IPL. But Shreyas Gopal, one of the leading wicket takers in the IPL the last couple of years and a legend of a bloke, joins me today. Shreyas, how are you, bro?
Good to have you here. How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. Very well. We're just hunkering down here, just myself and the wife. It's pretty quiet here. It's pretty cold outside as well, so not too much breathing space. But you tell us, how are you keeping fit?
Can't do much, to be honest, but as everyone knows, I think health is first, and it's important that we stay indoors and just respect every guidelines that we have to be following. And you can just do some housework, house exercises, as a lot of people have been posting a lot of videos, and that's all I've been doing. Probably reading some books, getting on Netflix, doing some house workouts, helping at home, something I haven't done in a very long time. So getting used to that as well. It's a different side.
Have you helped your mum with some cooking recently?
Cooking and dishwashers, yes, I have.
That sounds like my job. Yeah. Oh, well, no, it's great to have you here today. And obviously we're going to go through a little bit of a schedule on this podcast, and we're going to almost layer it like a cricket match. So we're going to start with the first innings, the break, which we'll have a few rapid fire questions for you. Then we'll have a second innings, and then we'll finish it off with a final over. And I know how you like to deal with pressure, mate. So we're looking forward to seeing how you go on that. But let's talk leg spin, bro. How's your domestic season gone? How's the lead up to the IPL been? I know we're not playing IPL at the moment, but what's it been like being in training camp?
So the domestic season was over, I think, a month ago. So we just about finished it just before the virus hit us. So we were lucky that we just got away. It was good. It was a long 5-6 month domestic season. Lots of ups, lots of downs. So great learning on the whole. And you do come across some of the best players in the country. So they really put you into a spot at times. So it's something that you need to learn how to get away with, and you need to probably overcome. So yeah, it was good. It was a great experience again. My 7th year, I think, of the first class cricket, and it was good. It did teach me a lot, and it's probably just the start, and you need to probably just keep continuing, keep pushing harder.
7 years of professional cricket, man. That's a lot longer than what I think people think when they see you're still quite a young guy, and obviously we're similar age. I think you're a little bit younger than me, eh?
Yeah, I'm 26.
Yeah, whatever, man. It's not that much younger, but anyway, I remember it's interesting you say with domestic cricket in India. I remember we spoke about a couple of years ago that the Indian domestic players and just Indian players in general are such good players of spin that domestic cricket can sometimes be a lot harder than some of the other leagues as well.
Yeah, that's very true. Like even this year, I was actually on spot on so many occasions that I had to just find a way to come out of that spot, because you're bowling to some of the best players of spin, not only in India but I think world cricket as well. As you just said, like you just said, I think Indians play spin really, really well, and the good part of it is you get to bowl to them, and probably if they put you through a hard time there, you're probably bowling at your best, and your skills are tested at the highest level. So in that sense, it's really good. So it's also giving me a preparation kind of a thing for the IPL and for tournaments ahead during the year. So that said, I think it was great. It was great bowling to some of these really, really good players of spin.
I remember having that same conversation with you when we were coming up and making our plans in the last couple of seasons of IPL against some of the overseas players. And a lot of the Indian players that we were speaking about, I suppose you've played them so many times, and they've seen you bowl so many times over the last 7 years, like you said. And then bowling against some of the overseas guys that probably haven't seen you as much is probably a little bit more breathing space for you than what it is bowling to some of the domestic guys, right? So that's great to hear. And so obviously, IPL, we're not too sure what's going to happen with the IPL in the next, few months. Obviously, health and safety comes first, so coronavirus is taking over most of our lives at the moment. So, talk about Rajasthan, bro. Like 2018 was the first time you got picked up with Rajasthan, and I know you were at Mumbai Indians before that. I'm not sure if you were at other franchises even before, but talk about that 2018, the first time the auction went up and you were bought. How did you feel?
Obviously, great. Something I didn't expect, to be honest, because I didn't come with great performances for an IPL auction. So I was just fingers crossed and just hoping that any team picks me. And I honestly thought if any team is going to pick me, it's going to be Rajasthan Royals, purely because that was the only team that called me for their selections. So I did go for the trials. I did attend all that. I came through that process as well. The selection on the auction day, I was actually playing a match, one of the club matches, and so just before going to bat, I'm telling my friends like every 5 overs, I'm going to ask for water. If I'm batting, you got to get water for me, and you need to tell me if my name's out in the auction or not. So I wasn't even thinking of that match. It was just my head was just completely into the auction, and I was just hoping I get picked with some team. Let alone playing as many matches as I have for RR. But I think just the whole fact of being a part of an IPL squad. So every 5 hours, I keep asking for water, and by God's grace, these umpires kind of understood my plight at that moment. So they kept allowing me to take those water breaks, and I promised them that I'm gonna hurry up between overs and I'm gonna hurry up between balls so we don't lose too much time as well. So kept batting, and then at the end of the innings, fortunately or unfortunately, I was batting on 100, but my name hadn't come out. So I just didn't want to go into the pavilion and not have my name out. So I thought if the more I'm on the field, more chances of my name coming out, and I can just deal with it later on. I didn't want to see the auction. So people were on their phones seeing the auction, and I didn't want to see it. So as soon as I stepped off and I kept my pads out, my name came up, and I dashed out of the dressing room again, and I took another jog around the ground. And by the time I came up, actually when I was 3/4 of that ground, people started cheering in the dressing room. That's how I got to know that I was there in some team. I didn't know which team until I came back in. So it was pretty nervous, and it was difficult to take those few moments.
It's a great story. I'm sure you can tell that for years to come as well. And obviously now going into your third season with Rajasthan, I guess things have worked out pretty well for you so far. And hopefully they continue for a long period as well. But give us some thoughts on Rajasthan Royals. I know when I first came into play, I was introduced to this thing called Royal Family. And I know what it means for me, but I'd love to hear your take on what Royal Family means to you.
I think the best part of Rajasthan Royals is the team culture the culture that we create. Uh, the one thing that's really stood out when I came into the team was the two things I think that really stood out for me is everyone in this team has a say in in a team meeting or in anything. I think that's something that really took me by surprise. Uh, be it if he's in the 11, not in the 11, if he's even some of the you really know that you wouldn't get a play in the first few matches at least. So you kind of mentally prepare for that because the team is so good. But even those boys were actually given or allowed to be given a voice in this team in any meeting as such. That was one, and the second one is the way we play our cricket. It's not as everyone knows, it's not a very big and flamboyant team, but it's a small team, and it's like a unit that we go out there. We are brothers, just fighting out for each other, trying to enjoy everyone's success, trying to just get behind people who have had a bad day, or and just try and push through that whole match. And um, whether we win or lose, we've always had the same dinner post the match. We still do have we still do meet at the lounge and grab meal together. and there is
Couple of
no.
beers.
I didn't want to say that.
I knew you didn't want to say that. I saw you looking a little bit cautious. You were looking at me, deciding whether you were going to say that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, please carry on.
So yeah, and there is no sense of um, there's nothing like you've lost the match, we don't give you certain things, or you've won a match and we over celebrate. It's always the same. There's always that balance, and I think that's the best part for a cricketer. If you do well, you're never too great. If you do badly, you're never too bad. So that level of equality, I think, is something that I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, that's I think bang on. Definitely something I felt in the last couple of years that I played, and I personally really enjoyed being out in there on the park, and it felt like we were always kind of celebrating each other's success. And I know for the period that we had myself, you, and Krishnappa Gautam were the three spinners playing together, and I personally will never forget a game against Bangalore, who you're obviously from Bangalore, so you always probably want to do quite well against them as well. And you and I bowled 8 overs on the trot together from each end, four from each end. That sticks quite firmly in my memory as one of the best cricketing moments of my career. But in terms of leg spin in 2020 these days, it just feels like every team wants a leg spinner, don't they? And so I'd love to hear your take on what T20 has done for leg spin, and I guess vice versa, what leg spin's done for T20.
I want your thoughts as well, but I think the reason people really love leg spin in T20 cricket is because the ball spins both ways. When as an off spinner or a left arm spinner, it's more one way than the other. So similar wrist positions and wrist work, we kind of spin it both ways, and we can bowl the straighter one as well. So I think it all boils down to the way you spin the ball. You need to be able to spin the ball. That's the first thing the coaches told me. You need to be able to spin the ball if you're a spinner. You can bowl flat, but if you bowl flat, you need to be able to spin it the same way. I think that's the reason why leg spinners are probably in such high demand in this format. But having said that, it's even if you're an off spinner, I think you would definitely. There are so many off spinners who have been legends in T20 cricket as well. The guys, people like Ravichandran Ashwin and Harbhajan Singh, these guys have done so well, for the country, for their countries, and their franchise. So I think it's again, if you just look at the way they bowled, they were very disciplined in their line and lengths. They didn't try too many flamboyant things. They did have a carom ball that moved away. Bajupar did have the top spinner that way and the off spinner. So they were just mixing up so well, but more than mixing it up so well, I think they were so accurate in their line and length. I think that's why they were, and that's why they're such great bowlers in any form of the great game. I don't know. I want your thoughts as well on that.
Bang on. If you can spin the ball both ways, you can learn, I suppose, from other bowlers in terms of accuracy. Your length has to be kind of in between that 5 meter to 4.5 meter length most of the time, because these days you can't really afford to hit the ball. I guess if you bowl a little bit full these days in T20 cricket, they can stand and hit the ball, and most of the time it goes for six now. So I think it's bang on, spinning the ball both ways, away from the right hander when you need, away from the left hander when you need as well, but also being really aggressive and bringing pads and stumps into play. I think that's what they're starting to set leg spinners aside from other spinners in T20 cricket. And I know yourself, you're obviously an all-rounder in Ranji Trophy, and you've started playing a few nice knocks with the bat over the past couple of years. You've had small opportunities to do so, but I'm sure you aspire to maybe at some stage bat in the middle order in the IPL someday too.
I hope so. I think the plan is to bat as well as I can, bowl as well as I can. You know, Nothing like contributing in three aspects. You have to contribute as a fielder, and either one of either batting or bowling. But if you can contribute in all three, I think it always gives you an edge to do better for your team and win matches for your team.
Yeah, definitely. You always have to put winning the game ahead of everything else, I think, especially in T20 cricket. And so whatever you can do to contribute is really important. Cool. All right. So first innings done, bro. You can have a little bit of a drink if you want. I know no beer for you. We're going to have a little rapid fire question segment. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the stopwatch, and I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Don't worry, it's not actually questions that you have to know the answer to. This is just a little bit about yourself. We'll get to the pressure stuff later on in the Super Over. So 2 minutes on the clock, starting now. Who's the most skillful player you've ever played with?
Played with.
With.
With or against?
With. Don't think
KL
too hard.
Rahul. KL
KL
Rahul.
Rahul. Yeah, very good play. Very hard to bowl to, especially spin. Number 5, what's your favorite word?
Favorite word?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's on the sheets. What's your favorite word to use?
Come on.
Come on. It's 2 words, but okay, we'll let you have it. Who was your celebrity crush growing up?
Deepika Padukone. I've told you this, bro. We've had conversations about this.
Most annoying teammate at Rajasthan Royals?
Mm.
Go on. You won't
Why are you
embarrass.
putting me in this spot, Ish? Why?
Just do it. You have to answer the question. You've got a minute
I would
left.
say Prashant Chopra. We're very good friends, but Prashant Chopra.
Oh, that's mean, bro. He's a pretty sensitive guy. He'll take that to heart.
He's not going to take it hard. You know, we know the friendship we share.
What is your worst habit?
Biting my fingers.
Oh, I'm the same. It must be a leg spin thing. Must be.
Any pressure
Right.
time, I'm always like this.
You'll be
Always.
like that in the Super Over. Which Rajasthan Royals teammate would you not want to be in a fight with?
Ben Stokes.
Bro.
Quite a few, actually. Quite a few. Ocean Thomas, Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer.
I'd love to see you in the ring with O'Shea Thomas.
I don't stand a chance, bro.
I know. They like especially O'Shea Thomas. He'll just oversize you. That's the issue.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. That's your 2 minutes done. So let's finish that off with I know you gave us a nice story about the IPL auction and what it was like for you, and obviously batting out in the middle while you were waiting for the call. But tell us one story from your career that is funny or inspiring that you can share with others.
I think the first time I got into the IPL team when I was picked by Mumbai Indians. It's a nice story. I think we were playing something called the Irani Trophy. So it's the winners of Ranji Trophy.
2020? No.
No. It's 4-day cricket. It's 5-day cricket. Sorry, it's 5-day cricket, and it's something called the Irani Trophy, where the winners of your Ranji Trophy play against they make a rest of India team. So players all over the country are made in one team, and the winners play against them. So I was playing for Karnataka, and we did win that. And assuming tomorrow's the auction, today I pick a hat trick against them. So straight away when I go into the dressing room, Bhajupa comes, speaks to me, and he obviously has like so many things to say and share about his experiences in cricket, and I just wanted to pick his brain as much as I could at that time. So and then I probably would say that was the part of me getting into an IPL team. I don't think I would have got into an IPL team if it wasn't for those 3 wickets or that moment in my career. So a lot of gratitude into that moment, and it's something that definitely gave me that kind of a spark into T20 cricket and IPL cricket. And I actually hadn't played any T20 cricket for Ranji for Karnataka at that time. I think 1 or 2 games, not more than that. So I hadn't played. I was very new to T20 cricket, but I got my break in IPL directly.
How did you get the hat trick? Did you bowl a couple of googlies through the gate? Bowled LBWs? How'd you get them?
Yeah, it was 2 googlies and 1 leg spinner that was mistimed and caught it long off. So 3 there.
You love bowling those googlies, eh? Oh.
So I try and mix up topspin and googly. I don't want to always bowl that googly. It gets a little predictable, so I try and mix it up. I don't know. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but take it either way.
Oh, so it's caught it long off. So I remember you got that hat trick in the IPL last year where the ball caught it mid off as well.
Yeah.
Whew,
that was scary over. That was really, really scary. Like
yeah, the first 3 balls went for 12 runs.
The story, I could probably give you the story through that over.
Yeah. Oh no, I'd love to hear it. Please do.
So we were all in the dressing room, finalizing the 5 bowlers who are going to bowl for us. So I honestly thought I wasn't going to be among those 5 bowlers. I really thought. Okay, so I go to Smudge and I'm like, so Smudge, who are the 5? So he goes, Ocean, Varun, you of course, and I'm like, then he says Rian and Mahipal and Stuart, one of them. So I'm like, me as well. So then he's like, yeah. So first over, Varun unfortunately didn't have the best over. And I was like fine, like the ball was right there. So I picked the ball and I'm like smudge and I throw the ball to him and he's like this, calls me like this. So I thought he wanted the ball and I gave it to him and I turned and I walked back. So he's like and it's in the power play over and it's that side is tiny. I just looked
Yeah,
at it.
scary small.
If I if I unarm the ball, it's going to go for six. And I'm bowling De Villiers and Virat Kohli. So Nigel Long was the umpire. And first ball I bowl, he hits it 20 rows behind. The ball comes back and Nigel is like, "Give me the ball. I need to see it." I was like, "Why do you want to see this?" Going back again. So the second ball, I'm like this, like a fast bowler. I didn't want it to go for six. I bowl it as fast as I can. So on my follow through, I see the ball go back past me for as like a rocket. And Virat is looking at me, and I'm like, shit, I'm in trouble right now. And then the third ball was 2 runs, and then I was like, okay, fine. At least it's not going to go for 36 runs in that over. So I was like, okay, I'm a little safe.
Scary feeling when your first three balls have gone for 18 in the over. And that's happened to me before. So to finish with a hat trick and finish with 3 for 12, I think you've done a pretty good job with the likes of De Villiers, Kohli, and Stoinis was the third one, was it?
Yeah,
Stoinis was the third one. Oh, that's awesome, mate. Yeah, I remember that game clearly because it looked like it was going to rain the entire night, and little did we know the drainage in Karnataka and Bangalore is
really good.
unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really, really good.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a really good fond memory that we have of that game. I remember Virat was in some serious form. First ball of the match went for six over mid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think probably my one of the biggest regrets in my IPL cricket so far would probably be that match did not happen completely.
Mm.
I mean, if we had won that match, we'd probably make the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is small little things like that can play a big contribution towards the
Yeah,
back end of a
it's very
tournament,
true.
right?
Very unfortunate, but can't control certain things.
Yeah, exactly. Can't control the rain, but we can do what we can to contribute. But so let's talk about the IPL. Obviously, we don't know exactly how long it's going to be postponed for. Whether it is going to be played, soon, or whether it's played later in the year, who knows? But having all the squads shaped up, obviously all of them have been named. What franchises do you think are the ones to look out for? The ones that are going to be the most challenging, and maybe some of the players that you're looking forward to playing against.
See, it's obviously really hard to pick one team, but uh, I think CSK, Mumbai, and Punjab are three teams that I feel have really got a lot of depth in their squads, barring us. But if I have to look at the other couple of other teams, I would probably say these three: CSK and Mumbai, purely because they've been really, really, really great teams in the past 12 years. So they come with a lot of experience, and I think Punjab has a really good team this year as well. A lot of my friends in Punjab this year, and it's going to be a really good contest for us, and really looking forward to each and every bit of this IPL if it happens this year.
Like CSK, obviously, always going to be quite formidable because they play on a ground that really suits them. They've got lots of spin bowlers in their attack, really high quality spin bowlers and batsmen that can play tough innings and score runs quite late in the death. And like Mumbai, obviously play on a really flat wicket, don't they?
Yeah, I love the one KD bounce. As a it's really good as a batsman, but it kind of sometimes helps you as a bowler as well because you get that little bit of extra bounce. So it can hit the top of the bat, certain times. But
Mm.
if you do get it wrong, you're getting it really wrong. And it goes the distance. But take it either way, then just hope that that extra bit of bounce helps you on that day.
Yeah. It's funny though, every time I go to the one kitty to play either for New Zealand or if we go with Rajasthan, I think a lot of the batsmen always say the same thing to me. They say the ball really flies a little bit more at the one kitty. I wonder why that is. Do you feel the same?
I think Bangalore and 1K is very, very similar. I think just the
Mm.
ground structure, the way the ground is, and just the kind of wickets that you play on. I think Bangalore's flat and fast, and 1K is good bounce, and it really sits up for you. So it's great. So it's not much you can do as a bowler, but if you can really bowl well on those grounds, gives you great confidence.
Yeah, you've done a good job if you're getting wickets on those grounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously quite a few young players a few under-19 players that have just come back from the World Cup that have joined our squad in Rajasthan. And have you had a chance to see them at the recent camps?
Yeah, I did attend the camp in Nagpur a while ago, I think a month ago, and I for the first time I did see them live. I obviously saw them in the World Cup on TV, but I think they're really good, and Karthik Tyagi bowls really quick, so that's great to see. You know, he can bowl 140, 140 plus, so that's
Whoa.
something that's really exciting for everyone. To be watching someone at his age bowling that quick, and Yashasvi as well bats really well. He hits the long ball, which is really good, and he has a lot of game awareness, and he understands his game very well. So he picks certain areas. I think that's what I've seen in the bit that I saw him bat at the camp. He hits in certain areas that are his strengths, and he backs them, completely. So it's really good to see that they have that kind of maturity at that age, and really looking forward to playing with them.
Yashvi's played a lot in Mumbai, isn't he? He's not from Bombay, but I know he's played a lot in Mumbai. And for some reason, these bets when they come out of Mumbai always have some maturity and a lot of patience about them, right?
Look, I think
Yes.
the kind of cricket culture that they have, the Maidan cricket, and there's so many matches happening in Mumbai. If you just go drive past that ground, you can see you know in that huge ground there are at least 10, 15 matches happening in the same ground, and one ground's third man is the other ground slip, so they're standing next to each other, literally next to each other, and it's so hard. And you come up that way, and it's obviously you're tested so much in that thing that you obviously mature a lot earlier than most others.
Man, it's ridiculous. I remember going past there, and a local man told me there were about 350 clubs associated to that one ground.
Yeah,
Isn't that
it's
just
crazy.
fantastic? I mean, over here, if you come to New Zealand, man, we'll take you around 6 or 7 different parks that have one, club, and there's one or two teams that play there. But to see the amount of cricket played in Mumbai is it's something that's so unique to India in general, and I think a lot of people that travel around the world would love to go and see that someday. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Shreyas, obviously I've played a fair bit with you. We've worked together a lot in the nets. I'm always in your ear about certain things, and you're always in mine, and it's really great to have that conversation and also have someone that understands leg spin. I know they're quite rare. I know for you probably looked up to Anil Kumble a lot when you were growing up.
A lot.
Yeah, I'm the same. So talk us through that. Have you ever had many interactions with him, and what were they like?
So he was my first coach in Mumbai Indians. So that's where I actually interacted with him. Uh, like first hand interaction with him was there, and it was great. Just the kind of uh, person that he is on and off the field. Is such a taskmaster on the field, which is so good for a youngster like me. And I enjoyed really sweating out and in Mumbai in April, proper summer. So it was really good. He didn't spare me any easy time in the nets. I didn't play too many games, but he did not spare me. He ensured I bowled a lot and a lot during those 2 months. So, and he obviously shared a lot of insights about his playing days, and you know how he adapted to certain situations, and how he probably made small corrections during a match itself when certain things didn't go well. So, certain things like that are not things that everyone can relate to or can talk about. So that's just that. And he's such a wonderful person off the field. I think you can speak to him about almost anything, and he's so approachable. uh, he doesn't make you feel he doesn't make you feel small at all. So he's someone who's got so many test wickets and international wickets that it's very easy for him to make us feel very small. So I didn't sense anything like that, and he was more than okay to deal with any of my stupid questions. And probably stupid to him, but I think I just had to go for it and try and bring out as much as I could, because those were like gold moments for me.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. And obviously we're really lucky to have Sairaj at Rajasthan as well. He's done a lot of great work for myself personally in my career. He's a quite a big influence, and I even can have a bit of banter with him now and then. Him, Amol, Zubin, now we've got Andrew McDonald, who, I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to get around and work around. But obviously the coaches provide, quite a lot for us in the training sessions that we have. How are you utilizing that the most?
I think the best part is every one of them is so much in touch with me right through the year. not necessarily only IPL. Sai sir keeps calling me and texting me every other time, in every other match, almost every other match, during the whole season of Ranji Trophy. So that's so warm for me that he's a coach of another team, and we're literally going to be playing against each other, but he still calls and ensures I'm well, and helps me out whenever I can. Obviously, on the field it's going to be different, and he wants to win, I want to win, but just the fact that he keeps calling me and finding asking me if everything is fine, and helping me out in whatever ways. Certain times I'm on a dip in form, or psychologically or whatever, but he's always there, as an ex-spinner coach, so of RR. So it's something that as a player you really need people like that, and you really need moments like that where you can actually bank on, and just speak your heart out at whatever situation. And I'm very grateful that he was actually doing that and keeping a track on me. And yeah,
Yeah,
likewise with
that's
Zubin sir and Amol sir, right through the year they're still keeping in touch, which is it's something that it's really good. And they're always pushing you to do harder. It could be volumes, it could be on your fitness, it could be anything. So John, for that matter, is also always on my diet. If I eat any nonsense, I'm gone. I know that.
I know John. Hey, I know John at some stage will watch this, but yeah, if you eat a carbohydrate in front of John, it's game over. I know. I used to have two breakfasts every time because I knew he would be down there about 8:30 or something like that. I'd go and have an omelet, and then when I'd come back down, I'd have my toast when he's gone. Like it's a pretty nerve wracking guy. But
He's listening
Sairaj,
to
I
this.
mean,
He's listening.
hey, yeah, if he is listening, I'm sorry, John Bubba. I mean, yeah, I'll make sure that I get on that high fat diet again. But again, going back to Sairaj, it's great to have that. I guess a guy that's bowled so much leg spin in India, and it's ridiculous how much leg spin he's bowled. I mean, he's played probably close to 190 first class matches, and he's got 630 first class wickets. I mean, it's funny, because a lot of I guess outsiders and foreigners I know playing all my cricket in New Zealand, we think that Indian wickets are spinning wickets, and they're most of them spin sideways, and so it must be quite easy for spinners. But they don't take into account how slow the wickets are. The wickets are really slow when they spin, and also the batsmen are just fantastic players of spin. So to be a good spinner in India for a long period of time, you have to have more than just a little bit of talent, right?
100%. You need, I think you need just the perseverance that he had, and the, the way, see, he's very simple. Like, the way he is as a person is the way he speaks to us as when we're at training. So he's
Yeah,
always like, go out there, be bullheaded, and you have to get that done. So find a way, just go out there. He's just like that as a person. He's so into the sport, and it's so good. You can't really take off the sport from him. It's just in him, and it's so wonderful to be working with him, and I'm enjoying every bit of it.
yeah. Oh, that's lovely to hear, man. I'm sure you'll have a fair bit to do with him leading up to the IPL. Who knows when that is, but it's great that you can keep that relationship going. And personally, I've played with you quite a lot now, and you know, having played quite a bit of international cricket as well, I know you're a really humble guy, and you probably, have heard this a few times, but you're genuinely good enough to play international cricket, and obviously there's a huge population in India. To break into the Indian national side is quite a achievement in itself. But I assume you have a huge desire to play international cricket, and there's no reason why you can't do that. But where do you see yourself in terms of your career with what you offer Rajasthan Royals and potentially India in the future? Do you want to use T20 as a way to break into the international team, or do you want to play Test cricket or ODI cricket? How does that look like for you?
See, honestly, I don't want to slap it as such as T20 one day or Test cricket. I think just playing for your country is the most important thing, and it's the biggest privilege you would get as a cricketer. So that's something I really want to achieve in my life personally. And you know, having said that, I don't want to be like, I have to do this, I have to do that. I think it's just putting too much pressure on me, and I just need to go out there, like just like last year. I just go out there, enjoy every bit of the IPL. It's 2 months of fun, and it's every tournament. Just go enjoy as much as you can. Enjoy working hard. Enjoy sweating it out there. Enjoy that fatigue that you feel. Enjoy every moment on the field, off the field, the experiences that when playing with people like you, your experiences, you sharing it with me. I think that's the whole thing. It's a whole thing that comes together. You can't really. I don't want to be very critical and be like, I have to do this, I have to do that. But yes, I do want to play for the country, and irrespective of which format, I think if I can don the Indian colors someday, I'd be really happy and proud of myself.
I'm sure you will get there at some stage in the future, especially if you keep, putting up the performances you have in the IPL. But I like what you said. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, because you still want to, obviously every cricketer that plays, especially in India, and I know over here, everyone wants to play for their country, but it's just figuring out a nice balance that it doesn't become like an absolute obsession that you don't enjoy the process of actually getting there.
Yeah. I do remember last year, couple of games when I was under the pump. I obviously have you coming around, and I keep telling you before going into the please spot me and just keep coming. I need you around me.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of those times you told me that you're trying too hard. Just go enjoy yourself. Just go with the flow. Try and just get back to basics. Try and enjoy yourself. Try and bowl to the best of your abilities. Try and understand the wicket, and play that kind of a game rather than just trying too hard and, oh, this is not happening. I need to bowl this. I need to bowl that. Googly is not happening today. The flipper is not happening today. Where am I stuck? What am I doing? I don't have any other ball in my armory. Sometimes you just need to just go with the flow, just back yourself, just be confident of your skills, and just know that it takes one wicket for your whole analysis to change completely. So you need to have that belief, and you put it so well at those critical junctures of matches. I think I needed it at that time, and if you had said it with a very tense look on your face, it would have probably hit me a lot more, and I'd have got probably a little more tense. But you did say it with a smile, and you kept pushing me in a very nice way. And things like that. You do play for things like that, and just the whole fact of easing someone else's situation at that moment. I think RR is something. We always say try and find your partner, try and pull him along with you. So a lot of moments like that when you were playing with me last year, and that I could share. Unfortunately, only four foreigners get to play, but I think I had you behind me, and I knew that I could definitely take on a lot of situations. Even though it was on my own, I knew that I had a little bit of experience coming from behind. That was you.
That's obviously that's really nice to hear, and thanks for sharing that as well. But obviously now having the coaching role, being the spin consultant with Sairaj, it's going to be a really interesting, I guess, opportunity for me to carry on that relationship with you, and hopefully we can build on that over the, maybe this IPL and maybe years to come in the future. Who knows? But that's fantastic to hear, and it's great to be able to share those experiences, because I know I came to you a few times and said, look, we're about to play in Punjab. There's a slight green wicket here. What's the best option here? And myself, you, and Sairaj came together and said, top spinners. We have to bowl top spinners. And that ended up being the best, and we could get those skies and the edges that go up in the air, and elevation was tough. So I know it's great to have that kind of experience, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I think you have to even though you're doing it on your own, and that when you're bowling on your own, you still have to come with a plan, and sometimes your plan is not the best plan, so you need to have others around you who can given their inputs, and who are very open minded, and who can take the other side. If you feel their plan wouldn't work that day, I think you can tell them. So I had that confidence where I could discuss a lot of things with you guys, and I didn't have that kind of a feeling where uh, it's going to be your way or the highway kind of thing. So this gave me a lot more freedom to express myself. So I think if you can just continue doing that, and knowing that you won't be playing this year, but you're part of the support staff, I think it probably would be a lot lesser in your mind, and you'd probably be a lot more free. So I can come and irritate you a lot more with my silly questions.
To be fair, if I was asked the question about who's the most irritating teammate, I would have to say you. So that I'm glad that hasn't changed, but now it's going to be the opposite. But that's awesome as well. But another thing about IPL is that I think in terms of experience and gaining international experience yourself, I can't think of any other cricket other than IPL cricket that is so similar to the pressures and the skill levels of international cricket. So having played a fair bit of that now, I think that's great experience for you to be able to take forward into the next couple of seasons, and hopefully pass on to other spinners and younger spinners that are coming through our system as well.
Just trying to learn everything that I can from everyone in this team, and try and take it back home, and help people in Bangalore and in India grow as much as they can to their potential. And you never know. You might find some really good cricketers in the future, and that's the whole thing. I think it's very important that you share knowledge, and just like how you guys have done with me. I think it's very important that I go back and share knowledge, or share whatever experiences I've had with the others.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome to hear, man. And well, let's leave it there for the second innings. And it's been great to hear your insight on this great game that we play, and obviously IPL and so forth, other things about yourself. So now it's time to bite your fingers because we're going to have the final over, which I will give you a little bit of a clue, right? We're going to ask you some questions. It might last about 2 minutes long, but once I ask you the question, think of all the squad and the teammates and stuff, and then you can answer the question, okay?
Okay, let's
Nice.
go.
Okay, let's go. Question one. Yorker, which Rajasthan Royals player has scored the most runs in IPL history?
Current players, right? You're talking about current players.
Everyone's in the squad at the moment, yep.
So right from Shane Warne's time.
Right from Shane Warne's time, tell us.
Ajinkya Rahane.
Nah, Super Samson, bro. Sanju Samson, bro.
What? Really?
Yeah, he scored a lot of. Well, he's played for such a long time. He's young, but he's played a lot. So, well, that's unfortunate. That's not really. Well, that's one to me. Question two, bouncer. When was the SMS Stadium built?
2008.
This is unfair, but 1969, bro. How are you supposed to know that?
Come on, this is unfair. You can't. Who made these questions up?
Well, didn't you read that in the book that you were reading today about the army, about the history of the army?
Yes, I didn't read about the SMS Stadium.
Oh, well, you should have. You should have prepared. Okay, question three. Length delivery. Which Rajasthan Royals player has scored the most international T20 runs?
Jos Butler?
Oh, that's 3 to me, Shreyas. I'm sorry, but it's David Miller with 1,409 runs.
David Miller.
David Miller, yep. Okay. Slower ball. Which player has the most wickets in a Rajasthan Royals shirt? Quiet.
Praveen Tambe?
Nah, it's not, but it is another leg spinner. It's you, bro.
What? Me?
You knew that was you, but you said someone else because you're really...
No. I thought Praveen Tambe. I really thought it was Praveen Tambe.
Nah, unfortunately, nope. You're wrong. That's 4 questions wrong in a row. Shreyas Gopal, 31 wickets. It's pretty good, man. Give me a little fist bump. Ooh. Question 5. Full toss. Which player has won the most matches in a Rajasthan Royals shirt?
Ish, this is so difficult, man. This is
Come
so
on,
difficult.
bro. It's all
Ajinkya
on
Rahane.
it's on the list. No, bro. Super Samson again. Bro. Someone's got to change these questions up, make it a little bit easier for small minds like you.
Did you know it?
Oh.
Were you aware of this or you had no clue?
No, I knew most of these. Yeah, I would have got maybe 3 or 4 of them already, but you've got one more, okay? Are you ready? You have to get at least one right.
Please give me the answer.
No, well, this one is not a player from the Rajasthan team, okay? So, which player has scored the most runs against Rajasthan Royals?
Shane Warne. No, you. No, I don't know.
Most runs. Bro, I bet 11.
You against Rajasthan Royals. What are you saying?
I'll ask you one more time, okay? Which player has scored the most runs against Rajasthan Royals?
Against Rajasthan Royals, and he's part of the support staff.
No, he's not part of our squad. This is not a part of our squad. He's from a different team, and I'll give you a clue. You got him out in Pune in 2018 because I'll remember forever. Left-hand batter, bro.
Suresh Raina.
Nice, bro. See, you needed all the clues, but you got 1 out of 6. Well done.
I was actually going to say Dhoni.
Oh,
but
no,
you did left-hander.
Yeah, no, yeah, you were going to say Dhoni, actually. Yeah, so that's 1 out of 6. So hopefully we get an improvement on that as the podcast series goes on.
You cannot ask me questions like SMS. There's no chance anyone's going to know that answer.
I know. It'll be funny, bro. I'll ask every single person that question. Hopefully they haven't seen the podcast, so they can't go back and do their research. But 1969 SMS Stadium. Unlucky, Shreyas Gopal.
I'm not joking. I would have got all 6 wrong or 7 wrong. If you hadn't told me left-hander, it was all 7.
Yeah, but you got 1 out of 6. So regardless, bro, thank you so much for giving us your time, and also it's been nice catching up. We haven't had a chance to catch up like this in a long time, so hopefully,
Absolutely.
yeah, next time it's the IPL. But no, great having you here.
Awesome. I'll see you hopefully in a couple of months or in a few months if the IPL happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it, Shreyas. And please join us next week for the next series of the Royals podcast. And you'll find out your guest in the next couple of days. So cheers to everyone back home. Enjoy.